Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you very much for watching, and today we are going to be doing my reading wrap up for June. So June was actually a fantastic month for me. I think I've read the most books that I have read in a month for a long time. I read technically 5 full books and I finished off. Okay, so I've read 5 full books and then I've finished off another one at the very start, so technically it was 6. I finished in June. We'll get to it, okay? We'll get to it and all the ratings and all that sort of stuff. I do apologise as well that I haven't actually filmed a video in a little bit. I started a vlog, completely forgot. So, yeah. I was going to do a whole vlog on going to like Pride and that. I filmed so much stuff and yeah, completely forgot. So I do apologise for that. I may still put something up. I don't have a lot of footage, so I may just not bother. So I do apologise for that. Anyway, let's get into it. So the first book, this is the book that I finished in June, and it is One of Us is Lying. I finished this, I believe it was like the 2nd or 3rd of June. I started it at the very end of May. Absolutely loved it. If you don't know what this is about, basically 5 students walk into detention and 4 leave alive. 1 dies actually in detention, and basically they are all suspects. If you've seen the Netflix series, then it's that. It's fantastic though. I really enjoyed this. I gave this 4 stars. The next book I was a little disappointed in. I'm going to be very honest with you. That was Red River 7 by A.J. Ryan. The premise sounds great. I said this in the vlog that I did, that the premise was 5 stars, the execution was 3 stars. I wasn't that impressed. Basically, a man wakes up on a boat with no memory of who he is, where he is. There's 6 others, and they all have a unique set of skills, and each one of them has a gun as well. You know what I mean? It's this great setup, premise-wise, but I wasn't so hot on the execution, and I was absolutely gutted about that because I was thoroughly excited to read it, and it let me down a little bit, so not so happy about that. The next book that I have read in the month was My Dark Vanessa. Ooh, this book was incredible. I want to basically read everything that this woman ever does. Kate Elizabeth Russell. I never get that right. Kate Elizabeth Russell. Like, this was her debut novel. I want to read everything she ever does now. That's pretty much it. And this is basically, if you don't know what it's basically about a young girl. She goes to this prestigious school and she basically gets, what's a nice YouTube word for it? She enters a relationship with one of her teachers. And she's like 14, 15 years old, and it basically tracks the life. It tracks her life from when she was like, the relationship starts when she was like 14, 15, and ends when she's like 22. And then basically it cuts to now times when there's the whole Me Too movement, and somebody else accuses the teacher of obviously rape, sexual misconduct. And it's just her trying to grapple with like, well, that's maybe what happened to her, but what happened to me was true love. I don't know how she swung that, but this book was so intense, so hard to read, so phenomenally written. The teacher is an arsehole, manipulative, narcissistic, nasty. The lead character, who we follow, she's so complex, multi-layered, multifaceted, and I think she's one of the best characters I've ever read. I'll be very honest with you. Like, the way she was written, she wasn't just 3D, she was literally coming off the page, she was 4D. She was amazing. So yes, I recommend this to everyone, but only if you've got a strong stomach. And obviously the trigger warnings for so much in this as well. By the way, if you can hear like little pitter patter, that's rain. That's suddenly decided to absolutely storm down. So I do apologise if you can hear that. The next book that I read this month, or last month, was Billy Connolly's Rambling Man, and it's basically his life on the road when he does his tours and when he goes off and does these like wild excursions, all this sort of stuff. Billy Connolly is one of my most favourite comedians of all time, and to basically hear his story, hear like the little stories that when you watch his travel TV series, the little bits behind that you don't necessarily see from his point of view. And as you can imagine, being a comedian, it's hilarious, it's funny, it's heartfelt, and yeah, it was incredible. So I give this 4 stars. Amazing. The next book that I read was Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. I thought I'd read a little bit of an LGBTQ story for the month of June, and this was so good. Basically, Camp Damascus is basically it's a gay conversion camp. It has 100% success rate. It's about a girl. What is her name? Okay, doesn't matter. Can't find her name, sorry. Basically what happens is that she's very religious, and she also finds out that she is gay, she likes girls. And I said, we don't really know because it's such a wild, insane story. But she keeps seeing these like sagging old people, I don't know if they're ghosts, monsters or whatever, and they basically just like run at her. But like no one else can see them, she's slowly going insane. And this was just insanely good. 4 stars. The girl's called Rose. I've just remembered that. Oh, another weird story as well. She keeps puking up flies. Like, there's a part in the story, it's very early, I think it's like the 1st or 2nd chapter. The whole family's at this dinner table, and she's just eating, and all of a sudden pukes up flies into like a spaghetti bolognese or like a pasta dish, and like no one like does anything, and then they're like, this must be a sign from God. And it's like, your daughter's just puked up like 1,000 flies. That isn't a sign of God. That's a sign she needs fucking help. You know? Yeah, the book was insane. The book was crazy, and it was a lot of fun. See, I love horrors. There's a bit in here that freaked me out, and I don't get freaked out by stories. There's a bit in here that freaked me out, so I have to keep it just for that. And the last book that I just managed to scrape in at the end of June is Bunny by Mona Howard. I've been wanting to read this book for so long. I've heard amazing things about it. I was a little bit underwhelmed, and I hate to say that because I was so excited to read it. Basically, it's all about these girls that call each other Bunny. So they're like, oh, hi, Bunny, how are you? Oh, I'm great, Bunny. How are you, Bunny? Oh, I'm fantastic, Bunny. And the main girls kind of like, just like, shut the fuck up. Like, why are you calling each other Bunny? She randomly gets a letter. It's like an invitation. And she basically goes to join them. She's basically like asked to join them for something. Turns out they're part of a cult. Yeah, And basically what they call bunnies is that they'll grab a bunny, basically bring a guy to life, and then kill him. And it's wild, it's insane, crazy shit happens. Like, there's no other word for it. Crazy shit happens. And yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. I say I thoroughly enjoyed it. It got a bit weird and crazy and stupid at the end, so I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. And I did give it a 3 stars, but it was a high 3 star. I will say that it wasn't like some low 3 star, it was a high 3 star. I couldn't vouch to give it a 4. And I wish I could. I just couldn't. I couldn't give it a 4 star. And I do feel a little bit sorry about that. Because I do think if I'd given it... I've let it sit with me for maybe about 10, 11 days now, and nah. I would give it like a 3.75 at the very max. So, that was all the books that I have read there in the month of June. It is in July now, so I already have started, obviously, July's TBR. And so, all I have left to say now is thank you very much for watching. I am going to be posting a lot more videos over the next few days. I'm going to film a bunch and just obviously schedule them out, which I'm really excited for. So there will be a lot more content coming from me. You're not just going to get like an end of the month TBR and that's basically it. But you will be getting a lot more content from me over the course of the next couple of weeks. Until I see you next time, goodbye.